I don't have a thermometer. I wish I did, but I know the heat index outside's like 105.
That's brutal. That is
it's
absolutely brutal.
It's in the 90s here, but the humidity level is just what kills you. I mean, it's like air you can wear. You step outside and it is thick. We got Bryce. Bryce got in last night from Texas and is hanging out for a week and a half. So we got a workout in today, and it was just like a mobility, like active recovery. It was nothing crazy, and I was like wringing wet with sweat by the time. It was like 30 minutes maybe, and I was just drenched.
When I own the CrossFit gym, of course there's no AC in there, and I had to bring 2 extra pairs of clothes to work with me every single day because I would work out in a pair, and it legit would look like I went swimming every time. And then I would coach the evening classes and just be absolutely drenched. It was one of the reasons why I left Texas. Not gonna lie. So
I've always wondered why you you moved from Texas to Montana, and your the transition phase of Colorado. I was like, man, why are you leaving? Texas, like Rodeo Central. It's like the heat. I can't stand the heat. I'm like, man, the heat seems like kind of a silly reason to like uproot your life and move. But now I get it. You've got some PTSD from the heat from working in that gym. No, I get it.
Oh yeah,
that
dude.
Makes sense.
Oh yeah. In summer jobs, all of it.
It's not. Yeah, I just pulled up the weather. It says it feels like 101. Only 40.
So you're dramatic.
47% humidity, which is probably the lowest we've had in a while. So like this week doesn't feel near as bad. There was last week. It was brutal. It wasn't as hot. It was like in the low 90s, but the dew point every day in the middle of the day, the dew point would be like 78 degrees. So if you go from inside the air conditioned house where it's 72 degrees and you go outside, your body instantly beads up with condensation because the dew point was higher than what the temperature was inside the house. It was nuts. Like you would walk outside, if you were wearing glasses, they would just like fog up. Like it was gross. So sweaty.
That sounds terrible.
Today, I mean, I've been sweating constantly, but it's not near as bad as it was last week.
Yeah. That is that's rough, boys. That's rough. Well, I'm glad that my AC isn't out where you guys live, because I would be dead if that was the case. Just halfway dead up here in Montana. Yeah. So it hasn't been too shabby. I would sleep in the
car with the car running.
Dude, I thought about it last night. Legit. I was just butt ass naked on the bed, and I'm like, this isn't helping. I'm just sweating laying here in bed. This is great. Al ditched me. I woke up this morning. She's like downstairs. I'm like, you couldn't have woke me up and taken me to the cooler temperatures? Like, oof.
She just left you.
Hung me out to dry. Yeah. She's like, no, I get a whole bed to myself and colder bed. Can't blame her. Yep. What else you guys been doing today? Anything exciting?
Man, just
you've been rolling, huh?
Nonstop today. Yeah.
You doing? You got check-ins or what's going on?
Yeah, check-ins. I've got several guys that got injured, like all within the same week of each other, and so like we're kind of figuring out that game plan now. After they went and got evaluated and everything, and like what they're going to be able to do and all that stuff. So it has been. It's been a lot of mental gymnastics. Like the one kid I was literally talking about, like, man, you just handed me a Rubik's Cube that I got to try to figure out now. But we'll get her done.
Oh yeah. So. It's just that, it's that time of the season, man, that time of the year where like we've been talking about, the volume is so high right now on competition that, and the volume on recovery has been slacking a bit. And man, I'd just write that off to kind of being part of the game. We're in this really, really busy part of the season, and guys are just whooped. And I've got guys calling me saying, I've slept 4 hours a night for the last 4 or 5 days, and I'm getting to the rodeo. Do I need to go work out? Dude, honestly, if you could catch a nap and get a dynamic warm up in before, that would be the best. Like, get a good meal. Yeah, get a nap, let the body recover a little bit, and then get it primed to do what it needs to do what it does. But how many times have we said also, like, we're in the part of the season that if you're out there rodeoing full time and you think that you're going to get better physically right now, that's just not going to happen. It's just not possible. We're way past that point. I think you made a post about that today, about it kind of bull ridings aren't won when you get there. It's the months and weeks prior to that and the preparation. And the guys that are excelling right now are the guys who put in a ton of work throughout the preseason, or we don't really have a preseason, but the beginning of the season when there's less competition. So it's just part of the game, part of the deal right now. Guys are getting hurt, and it's like I can literally guess it now, close to the day when we're going to start seeing guys have that happen, just because we've dealt with it for the last 4 years training guys. So not very surprising, but also we know how to help. So they'll be taken care of. That's awesome, dude. It does funny how it always happens.
What have you been doing today, Douglas?
Oh, just rescheduling our whole work day because I've been busy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. So I called Andy. We're supposed to have Andy on today, and we're going to have him on tomorrow. But like full transparency, I called him last night, and I was like, hey, man, I'm not even going to lie to you right now. My brother's in town for one day, and he asked me if I want to go fishing, and they close the river shuts down at 2 p.m. because it's so warm here. So they don't let you fish from 2 to midnight. So you can only go from midnight till 2 p.m. So we got on the river at like 6 a.m. And I was just like, man, full transparency, I really want to go fishing with my brother. Can you do Wednesday morning? He's like, absolutely. He goes, thanks for being honest. I appreciate that. I was like, man, not going to try and hide it. I was like, told him also, like, if you have to do tomorrow, I can skip fishing and obviously do this. But no, we got out there early and rode the boat again. And I didn't run into any trees this time. I was pumped. I think Richie was more pumped. He's like, thank God you're not going to ruin. I'll sink my boat while we're out here.
Oh, that is so awesome.
But
so when I come to your house, I got to bring 2 life jackets.
You can definitely stand in this water. It's not deep. Okay. Not deep. And we were we went swimming today actually with we had Jazz out there, Richie's dog, and we'd pull off in some of these slow parts where it was just really slow water, and we it's kind of like a cold plunge, but honestly it's not that cold right now. So it felt good. It's a good day to get out, and man, nothing can replace spending time with your brother doing stuff like that. So especially with busy schedules, I try and prioritize that when I can. But yeah, that's all I've been doing all day is having fun.
Well, I'm super jealous, awesome. But I can't be that mad because I did sneak out and go fishing for 2 hours last night. So
good for you.
I did scratch my itch, but I am still jealous.
I can't wait to get you guys up here and go out on the boat and show you everything. It's gonna be cool. Logan, you're getting ready to take off for the old Rodeo Road, and you've got one of our OPA athletes there helping out. And also, I don't want to forget about another thing with OPA, so I'm gonna bring that up after he gets done.
Yeah,
if he's there. There he is.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we got Bryce here with us. He got in last night, and he's here till like maybe the 3rd or something like that of August. So we've got 7 rodeos over the next 9 days. So he's going to help set up and tear down and get on. He hasn't been able to go and get on a whole lot. And in fact, the last time he went and got on, he actually was able to get on maybe the day before he came up here, and he went to Bubba Miller's place. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's going to be who's bringing horses for the OPA in the fall. So yeah, he went. But anyway, so he hasn't been able to get on a ton of horses this summer. He's just been honing his craft, really looking for good practice pens to be able to get on appropriate stock. And so I was talking with him about, the possibility of coming up here. Like it would, if he could get out of his internship for a week and a half, he could come up here and get on 7 head. They'd, be appropriate for him to be able to learn on and actually get some reps in. So he took me up on it, and he's staying in the RV. He's got his own little studio apartment out here, and just hanging out. And my kids have been wearing him out already, I'm sure, but he's here for the long haul. We go set up tonight, and so we'll we'll set up for the first one tonight, and then we'll have the rodeo tomorrow. We'll tear it down. The next morning, we'll set up at like 9 a.m, and at noon I have a day camp, and we're going to be working with some young athletes and have a rodeo that day. And anyway, it's just going to be a crazy week and a half, but it's good. I'm excited to be able to get to do this little day camp and work with some of the young guys. And I built some spur boards the other day. Not going to lie, I did get on the spur board today, and it felt pretty good. I'm just saying, it felt pretty good. So, and Lacey was like, "What are you doing?" And anyway, I was like, "Well, I'm
nothing.
I need to be able to ride I need to be able to ride one for the school." She's like, "Ride what?" I'm like, "The spur board." She's like, "Oh, okay. Well, are you getting on?" She was like, "Look me in the eye and tell me you're done getting on bucking horses." I was like, "I have no plans to go back rodeo." She's like, "That's not what I asked. That's not what I asked. Look me in the eye and tell me you're done getting on bucking horses." And I was like, "I have no plans to go back rodeoing." And she's like, "Okay, well, this conversation is going nowhere." So anyway, the spur board did felt kind of cool. But
we did talk about getting on one at the next school.
We're too good.
Yeah, I mean, we need to have like some sort of coaches.
I got no desire. I'm just going to get it all hyped up and make it feel like we're going to do it, and I'm just going to make you do it. But yeah, dude, been working at it all. Man, I've been working hard
for months.
Yeah. I'll get on a couple times, take a video, just keep resharing the same video over and over. Like Logan going down. We'll get there, load him up. Logan goes first. You win, bro. You're better.
Yeah, you win. I'm not getting on anything.
Oh, that's funny. Well, that actually brings me to something. Since Doug rearranged our entire podcast schedule so that he could go fishing, I was left with nothing for us to talk about today. So I came up with. We haven't done anything like a fun episode in a while, I feel like. So
yeah,
let's do a little bit of a fun episode. Let's just answer some questions and, off the cuff type stuff. And I wanted some of them to be rodeo related questions and some of them to be fitness related questions so that somebody will still at least get some value out of it. But, maybe at the end of the day, the biggest thing here, they might just get to learn a little bit more about us. So the question that Logan just reminded me of was, if you guys were to pick a different event than what you did, which for both of you was bareback riding, what event would it be and why would it be that?
Steer wrestling, hands down. Hands down. That is the rough stock of the timed event. I'm in.
For sure.
That's it. It's tough. It's rugged. Bulldoggers are badass. They actually scare the hell out of me. I would not poke the bear on any of them. But no, I would definitely be a steer wrestler, dude. I've even thought about it, trying it as of like trying it, not to go compete, but just I think it'd be a blast.
I have too. And I did shoot dogging when I was in junior rodeo, and I only stopped because like when I moved up in an age group, I finally got to the point where I was like 85 pounds and I was just getting
that would have been me too as a kid.
It was like 4 times in a row I made laps around the arena getting drug, and I was like, you know what, maybe this isn't for me. And but now I feel like with a little coaching, we could probably do it. And
I think so too.
The risk of injury is still there, but maybe not near as forefront as it is in the bull riding. But
I feel like your physical preparation goes so much further in that event. There's so much less unknowns that could potentially happen or have the likelihood of happening, rather than strapping your hand into something that has you don't know. There's like a 98% chance that you have no idea what's going to happen, on a bull or bucking horse. So I'm comparatively, us coming from those events, I think we wouldn't even it would be like, whatever, this is easy. Like, this isn't scary. I don't think that would be scary. I think it'd be a blast. I think it'd be so fun. And just to watch those guys when they get caught up in like 3 seconds, a quick 3.7 or 3.6, something like that. Like at the NFR, those runs, they fire me up, dude. I think that's so cool. I know that's so cool. Logan, what are you going to do if you're not riding bucking horses?
Man, I think, this is such a tough question, because I have a lot of respect for all the different events, but I think for me, man, when I was in El Paso, I think I talked about it on the podcast. I got to watch a client, Coulter Sellers, and in the tie down roping, and we had spent months and months, 6 months at that point in time, breaking down the tie down roping, and I've been watching him train, and he's been practicing. And in that moment, that run that he made, he was like maybe at 8-1. He broke out, doesn't count, whatever. But it was so flawless, and I was like, that was cool. And all the intricate pieces of the puzzle that go into like a successful tie down run. Man, I don't know. I think that I would enjoy that. I think it's similar to like all rodeo events, but you talked about hunting, bow hunting. There's so much thing that goes into that process, so much preparation for like that shot. And it's like between the horse and your roping and getting down the line and flanking and being able to tie, there's just so many little variables that have to come together perfectly for you to have a successful run. And I think I would enjoy it. So I'm sure, cue the calf roping jokes. I'm sure that you're biting your tongue right now. You have plenty of calf roping jokes about that figures you being a calf roper or whatever. But I do think that I would enjoy that.
Heck yeah. No, I have no jokes for you right now. Actually, I'm not ready to make fun of you quite yet.
I feel like calf roping is probably got to be one of the harder ones to learn, just because there is so much going on.
Hands
it's
down,
super,
dude.
Yeah, it's so athletic, and there's basically 3 parts to each run, like 3 very different things that are going on, within a run, and you got to be proficient at all 3 of them. And so I feel like that one would be really difficult to learn.
It's definitely the most athleticism needed when it comes to
I would agree
the
with
events
that.
of rodeo. Like when it comes to, I would say, even comparing it to like a field sport or something, when it comes to the footwork, eye-hand coordination, and the strength to have to do all of those things, it makes sense why Jesse Brown, I think is his name, was like a D1 middle linebacker, something like that, and he is a freak in the calf roping. No, he's a steer dogger, I think. I'm thinking of somebody else. But there, you see those guys out there that are just flawless in their runs. Tyson Durfee is a great example of one. That dude is rank, works really, really hard at it, and makes all those steps look really good. Cooper's, obviously, legendary. Those guys are really, really good to watch. Bo Cooper, that dude, when he puts it on him, dude, is quick. I love watching him rope calves. He is so good. Yeah. So good. What do you guys think about what do you guys like right now with clients coming to you? And we were talking about these injuries earlier. How many times are you, what am I trying to say? I had a client call me the other day, pulled his groin, adductors, got like a grade 2 tear in them. And he's like, what are we doing? Like, I've done all this work leading up to this, and then this happens. What are we not doing that is making this happen? And we broke it down. And when I was talking with him, he's got 12 plus years of bareback riding experience. And I think with the added volume, like we've talked about, it just is part of the game, right? Like you're going to have overuse injuries, especially doing it that long, or old injuries that pop up and nag. The reason that we train and prepare is so when that does happen, the rebound is so much faster. You're able to recover a lot quicker than you would have if that would have happened with zero training, right? So I was thinking, like, mentally, what are some things we could tell athletes, or that you would tell your athlete about how to stay, like, trusting the process? It's hard during those times. How do you trust the process when you feel like, ooh, like I did the process and it didn't go 100% to plan? Do you guys have any tips for that?
I would think of it as like, if you were to sustain a concussion, would we be having the same conversation? If you would have gotten stepped on and broke ribs, like, would we be having the same conversation? Like, those types of injuries are just going to happen. Like, and there's not much you can do to prevent them. There's
or if
a
you
little
like
bit
got
you
on
can do to mitigate
all the time and that
risk.
happened every time, that would be a problem.
Yeah, of course. Like, but I mean, you get stomped on by a 1,000 to 2,000 pound animal, in the in the chest cavity, like ribs are going to break. Like there's nothing you can do to prevent that. And I feel like the groins are one of those areas, even though they are a muscle, and there are things that we can do to strengthen the area or make the hips more mobile or make the hips function better. Like it's still one of those things that's just like it's the nature of the beast. Like it's the game you play. And maybe someday down the road we'll discover something that makes it to where it's not that bad, and maybe that's getting through the athlete's head that, hey, a reduction in volume is what you actually need. Like maybe that's the answer. Maybe going to 140 rodeos a year isn't a good idea. I don't know. But like that's kind of my stance on it, is like there's certain things that we can mitigate and there's certain things we can't. And as it stands right now, it just seems like groin tears are one of those things we can't totally mitigate. Like we can make progress towards that, but it's just one of those things.
I love that, dude. That's a great answer and a good philosophy, and that's spot on, man. It's just part of the game. That's why we do all the preparation, so you don't rip that groin completely off your pelvis, right? It's just a little tear, and you're able to rehab and keep going. Like that's the bottom line when you compete in a sport like this. It's just gonna happen. What other question did you have for us, Paul?
Heck yeah. So I got a fitness related one. If you could only do, and I know we've kind of alluded to different exercises that we, like or prefer, but if you could only pick one exercise that you could do for the rest of your life, which one would you choose and why?
Oh, because we like it or because it's functional, or doesn't matter?
Yeah, your choice.
Man, if I can only do one exercise for the rest of my life, and I'm going into that with the intention of like, I work out because it does the most, I'm probably going to do like a squat clean thruster, something like that.
Okay.
Like dude, full body.
Okay.
Get everything loaded. You could do, I'm going with that. That's going to hit the most for me. What about you guys?
I didn't even think about it. In that way, but that is a really good answer. Like I think even like a power clean, at the very minimum would be probably like one of the most functional exercises. I don't know how long you'd be able to do that into like later age.
We would have to find out.
That's a good one. I was going to say deadlift.
That's what I would say too, if it goes
just
simpler.
Because you can load it, a variety of different ways. And I seem to get the most bang for my buck out of like just physique, strength, functionality, overall out of deadlift. My favorite exercise to perform is probably a bench press. My body's kind of set up for it, and so I can lift really heavy in the bench, so that's fun. But I've been to the local YMCA where you see the guy that only does bench press, and that's not necessarily the physique I want to have. so that's
understandable.
Probably the exercise I'm going to choose.
Understandable, dude. That's hilarious. I love bench too. It's probably one of my favorite things to do. I like any variation of it, and especially like the dead bug variations, the hollow hold variation, anything that gets your core involved with that. I love it. It's my favorite thing to do. But if we're talking about strength, any kind of clean or deadlift is the money. Like that is the one. If you're talking about ultimate like core strength tester on a healthy individual, that's it. Deadlift is going to determine your absolute strength, So I think that's a great movement, dude.
There's the loads hanging from your arms, so you get a little stimulus from your arms.
Your back's getting
mostly your legs for power. Your back's getting involved, so like
it gets
full body exercise.
Hell yes, love it. Can Logan hear us?
Yeah. I just been listening to you guys. I unfortunately I'm gonna have to mimic Paul. I mean, because there is one exercise. The deadlift is the only thing I can think of that's going to get a little bit of everything for all the reasons that you guys have already mentioned. And I thoroughly enjoy deadlifts. Maybe there are people out there that would want to pick something different because they maybe don't enjoy them. But I feel like if you do them right, how can you not love deadlifts? Everybody loves deadlifts. And I would definitely say that if I had one exercise for the rest of my life, I would be deadlifting it up. No questions asked. I wouldn't even be mad about it.
Man, I hated deadlifts for so long just because I wasn't doing it right. it was just, it's really, really one of those things you have to have
avoided
proper
it for that
form.
reason.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I was also
nobody
told,
ever taught me how to do it, so I avoided it.
I was told with my back injury that to never deadlift. And it's like the opposite could not be truer, that you need to be deadlifting and deadlifting a lot and correctly to fix your back. So anyone listening, if you got back problems and someone told you not to deadlift, it's bullshit. But also don't just go start deadlifting. Like there's things that have to lead up to that.
Yeah.
But just saying, there is possibility that you can.
Ready.
Yeah. There's preparation.
Yeah,
but no, I used to hate that lift. But it's hands down most bang for your buck. No doubt.
Yeah. Faux show. Another one that I had, and this one is interesting because it's like almost like, where do I start? What was a common fitness like myth basically that you once thought was true, but then you changed your mind on it, and how did that change your perspective on like how you saw fitness? And I'll give you an example. Like mine was the anabolic window. You had to
did steroids?
Drink a protein shake. No, you had to drink a protein shake right after your workout, or else you wasted your time. And I used to think that was true. And so that one was, I literally told people that, like in college, I'm like, you have to drink your protein or else you just wasted your time in the gym. And
I think I said those exact 2 words or 3 words as well.
Food throughout the day, that's actually not true. It's not true at all. And so that totally changed my perspective. Like I try to get a recovery shake in after every workout, a little protein and carbs. But if it doesn't happen, like the world's not crumbling. Like I didn't just waste an hour. Like that's not how it works.
No, it doesn't. So I said that exact thing to people as well, though. Like exact words out of my mouth. I said the same thing. But that's what, I mean, again, just that's what social media back then was telling us. So we were all just reading that and not knowing to look at research and just blabbering things that we really didn't know what we were talking about. Logan, what about you? Man, I think I feel like I know yours, but I want to hear it.
Well, you're going to have to tell me what the question is before I can answer.
The question is, what is one common misbelief that you had about fitness when you started that after working out and doing fitness for a while, you found to not be true, and how has that changed your opinions about what you do in the gym or in your nutrition?
Yeah, that is such a great thing. I think that one of the there's probably been a couple. I'm going to say that the level of intensity that it takes to be a professional athlete needs to be 110 all the time. And that was one misunderstanding, myth, a thing I saw on social media. So many guys are just, everything you see is the highlight reel on social media, right? And so you see all this high intensity stuff. And so I assumed that in order for me to be a great bareback rider, I needed to have high intensity every day, multiple times a day, as much as I possibly could, so that I could be the best version of myself. And in fact, what I found is that less is so many times more when it comes to fitness, especially for people that have jobs like Rodeo, where you work nights, or you have all this stress already in your lifestyle. Just a little bit goes a long way. And learning, I guess my specific answer would be learning about that minimal effective dose that we talked about a couple episodes back, and being able to find that, and how that drastically changed the way that I approach training.
I had a feeling that's what it was going to be, just because your transformation from when you started to now is crazy. Yeah, we laugh about it all the time, because back in the day I did the same shit, and that was going to be mine as well. Like, CrossFit is what opened my eyes to that, and owning the CrossFit gym and getting really competitive in that, and that mentality of, and especially in a gym, a CrossFit gym, like it's just go fucking hard till you die. Like that was the mentality and the culture everywhere. And don't get me wrong, there's a time and a place for that in competition, and occasionally very, very minimal doses in training. But I didn't know that. And same thing as Logan. Like, we just went hard as hell. And the best thing that ever happened to me was hiring a coach. Hands down, was hiring a coach, someone that knew exactly what I wanted, the goals I wanted to achieve, and knew how to get me there. And I trusted the process like it was my job, which it was. I was trying to be a professional CrossFitter, right? A professional fitness guy. And first month I was like, I was doing way too much. I was doing so much that was hindering my performance, way overtraining. I had messed up my hormones. It took me 6 months to get it right, like get everything balanced from all the overtraining that I'd done. I'd reached this far past my beyond where I was, my capabilities, and my body was shutting down. And so no matter how hard I worked, the results didn't come. But flip side, hire a coach, learn a ton about my body and how it works. Less is more. Less is more every time when it comes to fitness. And we're not talking about less times per week of training. We're talking about the minimal effective dose, like Logan was saying. You have to hit that, go recover, and come back. If you are training so hard and you know that you're not going to be able to recover on the flip side, don't train that hard. Think about the recovery ahead of time. Am I going to get 8 hours of sleep tonight? Am I going to hit my macros tonight? Boom. Like, it's simple, but you've got to look ahead like that. You can't walk into the gym with the mentality of, oh, I missed the last 3 days. I'm a piece of shit. I'm going to go kill myself and not eat anything because, I'm going to lose weight. And it's like, dude, if we just flipped that whole mentality and said, what have I done? I haven't done anything for 3 days. Do I need to kill myself today? No, because doing 70%, 80% of my max intensity is probably already going to do it enough. Then the goal would be day 2. Now that you haven't crushed your soul in the gym, you aren't so sore that you can't go to the gym that next day. You can go to the gym another day, and you can build on that last day, and you can continue to build on that consistency as the weeks and months pass on. Boom. You've been doing it for years, and it's part of your lifestyle, and you'll never not do it. But it really does take that long, and it really is that simple. You just have to continue to be on that path and keep moving forward, even if you do miss 3 days. But biggest thing for me, hands down, is working smarter, not harder. It's it.
I think a lot of the listeners will take that away. That was perfect, dude. Who was your was Marcus your CrossFit coach?
Yeah, so I worked with Marcus Philly and Anthony Mahalik. I worked with Anthony more than Marcus. I only got to work with Marcus a couple times in person, but Anthony is the bomb, man. He still is coaching over there. He's coming to the wedding. He's been one of my good buddies since he started coaching me, and is kind of like one of my mentors, someone I can bounce business ideas off of. We're in the same realm. So it's cool to hear what they're doing in a totally different avenue of fitness than us. They're much more in the mainstream, creating pathways on a much bigger scale, which, I think Marcus, big time for functional fitness. Like, that's what really opened my eyes to how fitness is supposed to be done and what it's supposed to look like on, even like a scalable level for the masses. Like that is how it should be done. And functional bodybuilding is probably one of my favorite ways to work out, hands down. But they were awesome coaches, man. That's actually why I got certified through OPEX as well. It's because that's who he was certified through.
Yeah, Marcus went through OPEX.
Yep. And
again, it was Anthony. That was his name.
Anthony is an OPEX certified. Yes, sir. Their whole gym, if you're a coach there, you got to be OPEX certified eventually, I think. But man, we'll get to that point as well with all our coaches, but I haven't had to do that because all of our coaches go check out OPEX, So it's, if anyone's out there and wants to get a certification, OPEX Fitness, hands down, is the best thing you could do for a coaching career. Bottom line, it's more than, how long did it take you to get your NASM cert? Like a week, 2 weeks? Like study and then you take a quick test, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I probably could have took it without going through the book, honestly.
Yeah. So you
just
don't,
because I had a background in fitness,
right?
Like I was already had like that foundation, and I'd already been geeking out about it for years beforehand. So yeah, I mean, it's not very comprehensive. It leaves you feeling like you,
just enough to be dangerous.
Yeah, it's like,
just enough to be dangerous.
Where do I start now?
Yeah, no, OPEX is the full spectrum deal. Takes you through coaching as a whole, the whole picture, from lifestyle to fitness and nutrition, and you actually have to create programs, create all these things for them. It's like a when you get your master's, what's that called? What do you have to turn in? Like a
thesis?
Yeah, thesis. Like mine was 86 pages that I turned in. So it took me a long time. It took me 8 months to complete. So it was a full spectrum certification. So if anyone's interested, opexfit.com, check them out. They're best coaching certification you can get, in my ass. And then there was one other thing. Oh, dude, I saw DJ Miller up at the high school finals. And
nice.
I was gonna say this because I saw a picture of Bryce yesterday. Bro, both those dudes look so different than the day I met them. Like
It's
like
crazy.
you can tell that DJ's got freaking muscle, dude. He walked in and he had biceps coming through his shirt, like they're all like that. I'm like, dude, have you been working? He's like, hell yeah, I've been working. I'm like, that is so cool to see. You were legit a stick. You were a little stick when I first met you, man. Like he looked like a young man. I was jacked, so jacked. And I see that picture of Bryce yesterday. I'm like, dude, it's only been 2 months since we seen him last, and he looks way different. So shout out to those guys, man. The hard work pays off, and that's cool. I love seeing that shit pay off, especially for these next generation of guys that are just coming up. All you guys that are just doing your thing and not working, better look out, because these young guys are coming. They're playing for keeps.
And they're hungry. And they're fit.
Guys, and they're fit. Damn right. They're about to take your money. And they might take your girl too. Look out. Guys, we got to thank our sponsors, Beastmaster Rodeo. Been with us since day one. Without a doubt, the best gear in rodeo you can get, whether you're the elite of the elite or just getting started. Check out beastmasterrodeo.com. Use our discount code CHAMPIONLIVING. It is all uppercase and HOOEY brands, y'all. If you guys like dope shirts, dope jeans, and doper hats, HOOEY brands is for you. We're always wearing them. Our discount code is CHAMPIONLIVING there. Again, it's just a capital C there. Champion Living, one word. Going to save you 10% on all HOOEY gear. Guys, until next time, we'll catch you later.